Good morning, everybody. We're going to do a quick one if we can here this morning in the wheat crop with respect to the wheat crop. Mother Nature's done a really good job of stressing this crop over the last week. Since May 5th, nighttime lows have typically been anywhere from -1 to 0 to +1. Daytime highs that are in the 10 to 12 at the most, sometimes not even that high. An ideal temperature regime for winter wheat is a high of 18 and a low of 10. And with our highs barely breaking 10 and a lot of frosty nights, we've stressed this crop pretty good. In fact, even in fields that have not had any kind of chemical application to them whatsoever, we still do see some tips, some leaf burn, and that's strictly frost injury at the top of those, very tip of those leaves. Not a big yield influencer, but it's just indicative of the amount of stress from a temperature point of view that has been put on this crop. Going forward, okay, what's the thinking? If you hadn't had herbicide on, you haven't done any kind of fungicide application, let's assume your nitrogen's all taken care of. Just talk about spraying. From the fields that Brian and I have looked at in the local area, we don't see a lot of weed pressure. Consequently, I'm beginning to think that the best approach is just to forget the herbicide. And that's coming from a guy that tends to think when you see a weed, you spray a weed. But wheat is extremely competitive. That's one thing. Wheat's extremely competitive against particularly annual weeds that may still come. It's been awfully cold. I think that's held back the annual weeds from really coming on as well. So in that regard, the temperature was a good thing. But now that it's going to warm up in the next few days, wheat is really going to advance quickly. It's going to be extremely competitive. And we just don't think it's worth the risk, particularly when we want to also add fungicide in with herbicide. We don't want more than one product in the tank. So let's take out the herbicide. That's the low risk option. Fungicide, yeah, we always believe that fungicide in this stage of the game and through to flag leaf is the appropriate strategy. There's, again, because of the cold temperature, there's not a lot of disease in the canopy. A little bit of powdery mildew you'll find in the bottom, but it's not significant at the moment. The thing is, we want to make sure we protect that rest of those leaves and up through the penultimate and on into the flag to protect the photosynthetic factory, as I tend to call it, the yield potential that's generated from the penultimate and that flag leaf. They want to stay clean. So our next approach will strictly be a fungicide approach. That will start now. You can do that pretty much any day. The temperature's coming, but we're probably targeting ourselves maybe the weekend or somewhere between Friday and Monday in there somewhere. It's not really a timing specific thing. It's just whatever it fits into the rest of your schedule with respect to maybe finishing corn planting up and then you're getting beans in the ground. But in terms of fungicide, there isn't a real magic date that you would need to have it on with. Herbicide, yeah, if you want to spray, you got to have that on now. The quicker the better. But please don't use the two. If you really want to use two, forget the herbicide. Let's just do a fungicide approach and go from there. So, I think that's all we really need to say as far as this video is concerned. We're still quite a way away from any kind of flag leaf heading development in our area. You'll hear people talk a little bit about flag, and we're starting to hear a bit about flag down in the southwest Essex and Chatham area. In our area, we're always 10 days to 2 weeks behind Chatham, and I expect we're looking at a heading date that's probably really going to be first part of June, pretty similar to what it is most years. That fast early start we got back in March and April has just been slowed down to a crawl, thanks to Mother Nature and the temperatures she throws at us. But the crop's still in pretty good shape. We're still going to be optimistic because so much of that yield is built during the flag leaf emergence and through that grain fill stage. So let's keep our chin up. Prices are good. Life's good. Sun's shining. We're going to be able to get rid of the sweatshirt. Have a great day, folks. And we'll be back out in the field talking to you again in the near future.